Hi, this is Alan Gleeson for ADSR. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for regular tutorials. In this video, we're going to look at the extracting grooves function within Ableton Live. This function allows you to take timing and velocity information or groove of an audio or MIDI clip and then apply that to another audio or MIDI clip in your session. With this ability, you can quickly capture the feel of a performer or a programmed groove and apply that feel to your programmed audio, adding life and that human touch. To start off with, I've got a basic 4 to the floor kick, snare, hi-hat loop. And as such, they all have the same velocity and they're programmed in on a 16 grid. So everything is perfectly quantized, but in terms of swing or groove or feel, the loop is lacking all of those elements. So if I compare it with this other drum loop that I have on my audio track here, there's much more bounce, swing and feel to that part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the clip and you'll see there's a function here called extract groove. When I click on this, it will read the file and extract the timing and velocity information from that file. In order for me to access that or apply that to my program loop, I'll go to my programmed part. And in the first column here, you can see there's a word there called groove. So currently it says none, or that there's no groove applied to this current loop. But when I select the drop down box, I can see that the name of the file that I've extracted the groove from is here and it's selectable. So I'll select it and we'll play back the loop. Compare it with the original. It's a lot straighter. We put the drum loop groove on. You can hear a bit of a swing coming into the hi-hat. So if I want to modify how the groove has been applied, I can open up my groove pool. So when I open up the groove pool, I can see that the groove we've extracted, and there's a number of parameters here associated with that groove. So the time base that it's using is 1/16, which is appropriate for the loop that I've extracted because it has 16 note material in it. The next parameter along is quantize. So this will quantize the audio or MIDI part based on whatever the bass is actually set to before the groove has been applied. The next parameter along timing is how much of the extracted groove's timing is applied to the audio or MIDI clip. So when it's set to 100% of the extracted groove is applied. Where the more I reduce this, the less of that groove has been applied, and if it's at 0, none of that groove will be applied. We'll be back to our straight 16th grid. With the random parameter, I can introduce random fluctuations in the timing of the programmed part. And velocity sets how much of the extracted groove's velocity is applied to the audio or MIDI clip. So you can hear more fluctuations in the audio there. I'll just reset this back to 0. You can also go into the minus on this parameter, and what that does is it reverses the velocity that's extracted from the original groove. So notes that were loud will now be soft. So what we did there is we extracted the groove of a 4 on the floor kick drum loop and applied that to another 4 on the floor kick drum loop that had a straighter groove to it. Next, we'll extract the groove from a human played part. A very famous drum break. So I'll right click on this and I will extract the groove. And once that's done, you can see that now in my groove pool, I have access to that particular groove. So I can go back to my loop. And now I have another groove to choose from in my drop down menu. So now there's a bit of wobble in that loop, which I might want to keep. Let's go back to the original loop that we extracted it from. And we can see that there's various hits within this loop that are not lined up to the grid. I could quantize this loop and consolidate it before extracting the loop. But what I can do is I can go to my groove pool, and before the timing has been applied, I can add a bit of quantization based on the current bass. quantizing it, but I'm also introducing the timing offset from the groove. Introduce some of the velocity. So the settings I make here will be applied to any clip that's in my session that's using this particular groove. So I've got another MIDI clip here with a slightly different program part. Let's hear what happens when those extracted grooves are applied to this. So currently it's on none. Put it to the drum loop one. A bit more swing to it. Hear the funky drummer. And tweak this here, get more swing into it. A bit of push and pull on that, the more human feel, bit before the beat, bit behind the beat. So if I was happy with that groove and I wanted to apply that timing and velocity information to the part, I can click on the commit. And now you can see that the colors have changed of the program parts, indicating that the velocity has changed, and you can see that they're shifted around on the grid. Some are a bit later, some are a bit earlier. I can use this same technique to apply those grooves to audio as well. So I'll just set up another audio track, and on my original groove here I'll turn off the groove that we were using and I'll just record that loop onto this track here. So now if we listen to this loop by itself, we can see that it's a straight groove. But we can go over to our groove menu here and select one of the other grooves. So because this is audio, it's altering where the warp positions are. Starting to give a few artifacts into the sound there, so I'm going to tweak the warp settings. Still a few artifacts in the sound, but I'll live with that for now. So now that if I was happy with that, I could hit commit. And you can see that it's applied warp markers to the transients and shifted that about slightly. So any of the grooves that I've created will be available in my groove menu for any of my audio or MIDI clips. If I wanted to use these grooves in other sessions, I can go into the groove pool and save these, and I'll save them into my user library in the groove pool. If I wanted to access the groove library that comes with Ableton, I can click on the hot swap button here and it will take me to the core library, which contains lots of preset grooves to use in your session. So this is a really powerful feature for adding swing, groove and that human touch to your program loops. Apart from that, it's a great learning tool to see how a groove is programmed, so you can apply that to the grooves that you program in the future. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for regular tutorials. This has been Alan Gleeson for ADSR.